lot of the Quran commentary is about losing that balance. Right? Don't lose that balance. And that's what takathur is, it's a loss of that balance. Now we get to the heart of the surah, the middle, which is actually the zajr of the surah. It's the scolding from Allah. This angers Allah so much. He says, كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. And kalla is actually like haqqan in Arabic. Kalla means no, not at all, but this is not just a normal no. Like if you read in English translation, here's my English translation of this that I've read before. Nay, soon thou shalt know. I don't know what that even means. Kalla is actually when you're getting yelled at. No! You're going to find out soon enough. You don't talk like this. Kalla sawfa ta'lamun is not normal speech. This is the anger of Allah manifest in the way He expresses. You're going to find out soon enough. And I'm not even going to assume you will know, because the verb know doesn't even begin to capture the emotion that's inside the word sawfa ta'lamun. The word sawfa ta'lamun. And sawfa asra' min fa'. It's actually, زيادة المبنى تدل على زيادة المعنى. The word sofa, as opposed to the word sa here, the prefix sa, suggests very soon, you're going to know. Oh, you will know, all right. You know, sometimes when you are threatening someone, oh, no, I'll get you. I'm going to get you good. Oh, no, you don't even know what you got yourself into. That's the kind of. This is why it's, kaza is zajar wal ibhar. It's actually for the scolding. You know, sometimes we listen to recitation of Quran and it's the opposite of the intent. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. MashaAllah. And then it's not just Allah said it once, He said it ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. Really, the tafsir of the ayah isn't the way you're going to say it. It's the way in which it has to be said. You're going to find, oh no, then again, you need to hear this again. Thumma. And thumma tawqidan. It's mentioned here, this is actually not tarqiba lutfi. It's not actually this continuity that's then this. But it's moreover. I don't think you heard me right. You will find out. This is in Arabic, they say, aqulu lak, thumma aqulu lak. This is the old way of saying it. I'm telling you. We do this even now. When somebody's not listening to you, or somebody's not taking you seriously, then you repeat yourself. You don't tell someone something once, you tell them twice, 3 times. This is what Quran does. There's no such thing as, za'idah in the Quran. There's no such thing as extra stuff in the Quran. Everything is exactly as is meant to be. So when He says, كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, then He says again, ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. This is exactly what we needed to hear. This is exactly what humanity needed to hear. It's the same exact word. Why repeat them? Why repeat them? Because when you repeat them, then the yelling is far worse. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? When your dad does that twice, it's good kind of milking. Like, it burns just right. When you hear it twice like that. That's what Allah does to you. And this is a threat from Allah. And it's twice. Now some ulama went even further and said, okay, in addition to it being this ta'weed, this terrifying yelling from Allah, and this zajr from Allah, additionally, it's also a comment on the stages. You're being taken into the grave. As soon as the descent happens into the grave, now you see what reality was. Everybody thinks you've been put to sleep, but that's actually when you just woke up. And you're going to find out already. And the questioning, some of the questioning begins right then. Some of it. Some questions are asked then. But when are all the questions asked? When we're going to be taken out of the grave. That's the full interrogation. So there's the brief interrogation, and then there's the full interrogation. So some have interpreted it as, when you're taken to the grave, at the moment of death, the brief interrogation, and you realize what life really was and how you've been distracted, that you had no idea. And then when the full interrogation happens, then you will really know how distracted you were. That's Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's the su'al that's coming on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the questioning, the interrogation that's coming on the Day of Resurrection. May Allah make all of our accounting and our questioning easy on us. then is the middle, the very center of this surah. كلا. No, لو تعلمون علم اليقين. Let's just stop at لو تعلمون. كلا لو تعلمون. Just this much. No. And this no is a no of frustration. It's actually a hasra. لو تعلمون. Had you only known, if you only were people who wanted to find out. This is Allah expressing how frustrated He is with the people He's talking to. Now in the Arabic language, when you say لو, then there's a jawab لو. لو درست لنجحت. Okay? لو استيقظت لصليت. If you woke up, you would have prayed. If you studied, you would have succeeded. Had you done this, this would have happened. There's a had part, there's a would have part. To give you an example, had you woken up early, you wouldn't have missed the flight, etc. Right? But in this ayah, there's only the had. The rest of it isn't there. Had you only known. Had you only, that's it, it stops there. Why does it stop there? Allah doesn't say, had you only known, you could have saved yourself. Had you only known, this wouldn't have happened to you. He doesn't mention any of this. He doesn't mention any of that because the people He's talking to aren't even worth continuing talking. He drops it. They're not worth addressing any further. And actually not mentioning what's the jawab law, the latter part of the condition, is even more horrifying. When somebody speaks to you like this, had you only been a good son, you don't have to say anything else. You've said everything else by just shaking your head and walking away. That shows it already. You're already dead. This is what Allah does in the middle of the surah. This is the heart of the surah. This frustration from Allah. And this is illustrating that there are some people who are so drowned in their takafur, they're so distracted in their takafur, that there's no way to reason with them. They're lost. They're completely lost. No matter how much you try to reason with them, it's like someone on drugs. You can't have a normal conversation with them. They're not in their right mind. They're too drunk on it. And that's why it's not لو علمتم, it's لو تعلمون, the mullah suggesting there's no way for you to even know now. You've completely lost your sense of thinking and knowing and finding out. You're a hopeless cause. You see, the irony of this ayah is that the word law in Arabic is used as hasra. It's used to express regret of what happened in the past. So the expectation from an Arabic point of view was كلا لو علمتم. لو علمتم. But Allah in this very scary ayah is saying لو تعلمون, the present tense, as if even your future is a done deal. You people are hopeless even in your future. There's one thing for Allah to comment, you have failed so far. You've been so messed up so far. If Allah says that, then there's hope that I can fix myself, you see? But in this ayah, Allah is actually commenting on people who are just a lost cause. لو تعلمون. And then he describes what kind of ilm should you have had. علم اليقين. He says, لو تعلمون علم اليقين. Now the words علم اليقين are difficult to understand. I'll give you an explanation by way of analogy. Inshallah, it'll be easy to understand that. The word yaqeen in Arabic has a few things. إزالة الشك. It's something that removes all doubt. When you're convinced of something without a shadow of a doubt, you have yaqeen. The second thing it has is tahqiq al-amr. It's actually set and you never rethink it again. It's not something that you say, I was convinced yesterday, but let me see if I'm still convinced today. You know, sometimes there are politicians who are very passionately one party, and in the next election, they are very passionately the opposite party. There are politicians like that, right? They're convinced of one thing, and they're convincing also of one thing, but then next thing they're convinced entirely of the other thing. Yaqeen is something you don't go back on. Yaqeen is something you don't revisit ever. It's done, you know? And so Allah says, ilm al-yaqeen, knowledge of absolute certain conviction. Had you known the kind of knowledge that is absolute certain conviction. There are three phrases in the Quran that have to do with yaqeen. There's ilm al-yaqeen, there's ayn al-yaqeen, there's haqq al-yaqeen. Three of them. This surah has ilm al-yaqeen and it has ayn al-yaqeen. It's coming later on. Okay? لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. It's coming, right? Now what's the difference between them? I'll help you understand by way of analogy. And so that even the one that's not in this ayah will understand too, inshallah. Which is Haqqul Yaqeen. It comes at the end of Waqi'ah, for example. Allah Azza wa Jalla, forget the ayah for a second, I'll give you the parable. If you're driving out in the countryside somewhere, and and you see smoke. You don't see what? You don't see the fire. But you know there's a fire. How do you know there's a fire? It is impossible to have smoke without fire. So even without seeing, because of the evidence, you are absolutely convinced that there is a fire. Somebody has to come and tell you, no, there's no fire. I'll say, no, look at the smoke. There is a fire. Sorry. The evidence is there. And then somebody comes and tells you, but you didn't see a fire. How do you know? I have ilm al-yaqeen, you idiot. There's a smoke. I don't need to see it to believe it. When evidence, knowledge, thinking leads you to a definite conclusion, that's called ilm al-yaqeen. That's ilm al-yaqeen. If you get close enough and you see the fire, you saw it with what? Your eyes. The Arabic word for eye is what? Ayn. Now you believe it's a fire because you've seen it with your own eyes. This is what? Ayn. This is the conviction of the eye. This literally says the eye of conviction, meaning the eye that leads to conviction. Just like the knowledge that leads to conviction. For Arabic students, the idafa, ilm al-yaqeen, ayn al-yaqeen, haqq al-yaqeen. When you have an idafa, two words like that, and you put an of in between them. But that's hard to understand when you translate it. Knowledge of conviction, eye of conviction, truth of conviction. It's not like that. It's actually here you have to translate this idafa as that leads to. In other words, knowledge that leads to conviction. The eye that leads to conviction. Reality that leads to conviction. You get it? So now, when you say ilm al-yaqeen, Allah is saying, how come you didn't? You had all the access to knowledge you needed. We don't see Jahannam. We don't see that fire. But we see its smoke. We see its smoke. And it's, in other words, we see its evidence. And its evidence is in the word of Allah. The word of Allah is absolutely convincing. And if you were to ponder it on yourself, on your own life, then you would know that the akhirah is real. That the next life is real. You could have arrived at that conclusion without having to see it. How come you weren't willing to see? Why were you so distracted and not thinking about things you can't see? Because I'm talking with takathur. You're so busy, obsessed with things you can see, you never even wonder what is behind these things. What's behind all of it? Because the akhirah is behind all of this, you see. Allah says, ذَلِكَ مَبْلَغُهُ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ لَمْ يُرِدْ إِلَّا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا ذَلِكَ مَبْلَغُهُ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. There are people who want nothing but this life. This is as far as their knowledge goes. Even when they think, when they ponder, they cannot ponder beyond this. They don't want to think there's something behind this. They're not the people who say, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. You didn't create this without purpose. You and I, we had that access. How come you didn't think this way? Is Allah's criticism of it. Now, by the way, the third one I didn't explain. I won't go into detail because it's not in this surah. The third one is haqq al-yaqeen. When you're convinced because of evidence, ilm al-yaqeen. When you're convinced because you saw it with your own eyes, ayn al-yaqeen. If you've been burned by fire, you've experienced the reality, the haqiqah of fire, and then someone says, fire? What fire? Look at my hand, bro. The fire's for real. I tasted it. I've been stung by it. I've been burnt by it. This is haqq al-yaqeen. This is conviction based on experience. It became something very real for you. You know what's amazing about haqq al-yaqeen? Allah calls Quran haqq al-yaqeen. Quran, innahu la haqq al-yaqeen. Why? Because when you dive into the Quran, you will experience the truth. You won't just learn the truth. It will run in your blood. It will become part of you. Then it will become a part of your being. If you've experienced it, it's an experiential kind of knowledge. It's an incredible statement by Allah. It's like, like they say in Arabic, أَعْلَمُ بِهَا مَنْ غَصَّ بِهَا. The one who knows it best is the one who's choked on it. Right? Like, it's an expression about fish. Like, hey, eat that fish slowly. No, it doesn't matter. Come. And then, told you to eat it slowly because I made that mistake before. You see what I'm saying? The idea of haqq al-yaqeen is someone who's experienced the truth, the reality, because when someone truly immerses themselves in the word of Allah, they see the word of Allah fulfill itself around them all the time. They see the ayat of Allah come to life all the time around them. It becomes not just some knowledge they have, it becomes an experience in their life. Reality in their life. And so that's haqq al-yaqeen. But in these ayat, Allah is just giving us two. Ilm al-yaqeen and Ainul Yaqeen. By the way, just the distinction between these two. The one that human beings were supposed to benefit from is which one? Ainul Yaqeen. Ainul Yaqeen. Allah made human beings the only creature that can truly benefit from knowledge and arrive at conclusions they can't even see. Actually, much of what we have done in this world, what human beings have been able to accomplish on this earth, from technology, in medicine, in architecture, in any field, it's actually because of ilm al-yaqeen. We don't see an atom. We cannot see a proton and a neutron. These are subatomic particles. We cannot see them. We can, however, perceive what they're going to be able to do. Well, how we can manipulate these materials, and these subatomic particles. We don't see a lot of the science. We can measure it, we can calculate it, we can estimate it, but we cannot what? We can't see it. Actually, much of what we've accomplished in life, in this world, is through ilm al-yaqeen. Ilm al-yaqeen, if you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to function in society. You wouldn't. Ilm al-yaqeen is the thing that, there's an announcement made, there's a fire that's in the building. If there's an announcement made, there's a fire that's in the building, and there's no fire on your floor, I'm not leaving, I don't see a fire. Nobody else. Would you believe the announcement? Yeah. When sprinklers came on, the announcement, please exit the building, etc., etc. If you're on a highway, traffic is going well, you're listening to the radio news report, and it says 3 miles ahead there's a traffic jam. Take an exit if you can. You're not going to say, oh, these kuffar, they're always trying to get me, I'm going to stay on Sirat al-Mustaqim, and I'm just going to... Did you see the traffic jam? No. You heard from a reliable source that was good enough for you, and you took a detour. Isn't that what you did? The idea of ilm al-yaqeen is actually what makes society function. That's what makes society function. Ilm al-yaqeen is how you progress in your careers. What course should I take? What class should I take? Which job interview should I go for? You have to trust somebody who knows more than you and says, do this, and then you can move forward. Our entire iman, Allah is not asking us to believe blindly. He's actually asking us to arrive at it like He arrived at everything else in life. Through ilm al-yaqeen. Actually, if the only way you'll be convinced is by seeing, that means ainul al-yaqeen, yeah? Then there's no difference between you and a cat, and a dog, and a squirrel, and a monkey. Because those animals are not convinced until they what? Until they see. When they hear there's a fire alarm, the cat person leaves the building. But when the cat sees the fire, it runs the other way. Allah gifted the human beings ilm. This book, this revelation is ilm al-yaqeen. This book is ilm al-yaqeen. If you don't take advantage of this book, one day you will stand in front of Allah and you will see Jahannam, and then it will become what? Ainul al-yaqeen. It's too late, buddy. It's too late. This is why the Quran is supposed to be sami'na wa ata'na, ra'ayna wa ata'na. It's sami'na wa ata'na. You listen and you obey. You listen, you reason, you use your faculty. That's the gift of Allah in this ayah. لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ. And so now, as we wind down, this is now the conclusion of the surah, these few ayat that are left, 6, 7, and 8. لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. Had you only known with the knowledge of conviction, and it stopped there. Islahi, rahimahullah, in Tadabbur al-Quran actually argues that this ayah is a maf'ul of the previous ayah, which means, had you only known with entire conviction that you will see hell. I personally, wallahu ta'ala, I don't disagree, because this ayah is not, the knowledge of conviction is not that you will see hell. The knowledge of conviction, the actual conviction is that akhirah is there, life has a purpose, those things. Like Allah doesn't just want us to be convinced that we'll see hell. That's not the message of Allah. The message of Allah is you'll meet Allah. But these people, these distracted people, Allah says about them, you are the lost cause, there is no way around it. You people are absolutely, absolutely going to see Jahannam. I swear to it, I will make sure you see it. لَا تَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمَ. The thing is, the irony inside of this ayah is very powerful. Ru'ya in Arabic is when you look at something. And you look at something that you want to. The eye is a very sensitive faculty of the human body. You don't look at the sun, you avoid eye contact immediately with the sun, yeah? When you see something disgusting, you can turn your eyes away immediately. You know, turning your body is harder, but turning your eyes is what? Easy. And especially when something is glazing to the eye or difficult for the eye to handle, then we can close our eyes and move the eyes. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, you have been turning your eye from reality because of takafur all this time. When it comes to Jaheen, which is far harder to look at than the sun, by the way. When it comes to looking at Jannah, I'll make sure you look at it. And you'll keep staring at it. There's no blinking, there's no turning away. I will make you face that reality. And you'll keep on looking at it. Oh, you will look at it already. There's a la, there's a unna, there's a lam of tawheed and qasam, which means I swear to it, you will look at it. There's two noons at the end, which actually triples the verse, which means I swear to it, you will look at it, you will look at it, you will look at it. That's what Allah is saying. It's actually satarawna jahim. That's the verb. But it's been emphasized 3 times over. And an ofid, lam qasam, on top of all of that. And then on top of that, why even jahim? This is the scariest part. Allah could have said, nah, Jahannam, there's so many names of hell. Why use the word of jahim? Jaham in Arabic and jaham in Arabic is actually used for the eyes of a lion. The eyes of a lion right before it rips you apart. You know, the pupils dilate on predators when they're about to attack. I took my children one time to a safari not too long ago. Out in Texas, they have a safari, they have about 100 cheetahs. And there's, you know, usually when you go to these things, the animals are all hiding under the bushes, like, where are they? And they're lazy to come out. You know the craziest way to get them out? Because there's a huge fence, right? It's secure. Make children walk next to the fence, or close to the fence. When they see small prey, their nature overtakes them, their pupils dilate, and they walk alongside. It's crazy. I know. I didn't do it, I recommended somebody else. But you know, when that predator is about to attack and its eyes are just ripped up because it's going to tear into you, the scariest look in those eyes, that's actually one of the names of hell. It stares back at you. It stares back like a predator that wants to tear you apart. Now the thing is, I mean, I've only now, over the last 2 days, or just even today actually, just experienced the tube for the first time. I'm a New York City subway guy. You guys are actually cleaner, let me tell you. But anyway, you know, in the subway, in the train, sometimes there's some guy just staring at you. And you just avoid eye contact every time you just eye leave. And you just, every few seconds you go to check, is he still staring? Yep, he's still staring. When somebody's looking at you like that, it's human nature to do what? Avoid eye contact. Avoid eye contact. Especially if someone's dangerous. You avoid eye contact. Like one of the places that I noticed, some people are very good at avoiding eye contact here at restaurants, the waiters. He's right through you. They're so good at it. You know? But the idea of Jaheen is this roaring flame come to life, staring straight at you. You'd love to avoid eye contact now. Allah says, no, you'll be staring. See, there's a second time that an action that is supposed to be voluntary is being used in a context that's involuntary. The first one was ziyarah. Visiting is voluntary, but it was used like, whether you like it or not, you're going to visit this grave. You're going to go. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to stare at that Jaheen. لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. And then he says, ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْجَحِيمِ. Then, let me tell you again, you are going to be staring at it, and this time with the eyes of a believer. This time you're going to be so convinced. Right now, it's all a joke to you. There's so much entertainment industry making fun of the idea of hell. You know, for the Jewish people, the idea was systematically removed from their book. It's not even found in the Hebrew Bible anymore. In the Christian Bible, it's actually in the New Testament, it is found. There is some mention of hell. In the Jewish tradition, there's some oral literature that has some mention of Gehnam, which is close to the Arabic word Jahannam. Right? We have, but even that is actually just a valley where trash is thrown. That's the worst of it, you know, for them. But for us, it's a very serious issue. Muslims don't make jokes about hell. It's not a laughing matter, guys. Allah has described it in such graphic, scary terms that it's not a joking thing. But on the other side, unfortunately, what happened to the people of the book before us just became a joke. So they had like heavy metal bands, like, you know, skulls with like flames on them, and Highway to Hell, and like, you know, we're at Halloween parties where people are dressed like devils and flames and all this stuff. Like, to them, it's just a joke. To us, it's not. It is most certainly not a joke. And I would actually advise you, just as part of our adab in speech, I don't give fatwa, you guys know that, I think. But just part of our adab in speech, don't use the word hell as an expression in your speech. Like, what the hell, or what the hell are you doing, or how the hell are you, etc., etc. Don't do it. This is actually making light of something that's very serious in our life. Don't make light of it. Well, if you've had a hard time, you say, I've been through hell. Nope, don't say that. It's better for you not to say that. Because subconsciously, then the word becomes casual. I wouldn't want for any Muslim this word to become casual. This wouldn't. I'm having a hard time, I'm having a difficult time. All of that's fine, but you know, don't take it any further than that. Now, as I come to the end of this surah, you're finally going to see it with convincing eyes. The last ayah of the surah, Then after all of that, now they're staring at the fire. They're staring at it. They're complete. And by the way, when you're staring at something horrifying, are you distracted? If you're staring at something, like if you saw a car accident, were you distracted? You're just looking at it? If somebody's talking to you while a car accident happened, would you even be listening? No. But Allah will make you stare at that fire, and then the questioning will begin. No room for distraction now. Look at the irony. Allah began the surah with distraction. And Allah ends the surah with a scene where you have all the justification to be distracted. The only thing preoccupying you now should be the view of hell. This thing you're staring at that's taken over your mind. It may be even driving you insane. And at that time, Allah will start interrogating you. Then you will all be interrogated. You will be questioned exhaustively. And then again, down in the noon, you'll be questioned, you'll be questioned, you'll be questioned. I swear to it, 3 times over. That's inside the verse. On that day. What will you be questioned about? You'll be questioned about the constant luxury that you live in. The word na'im comes from the word ni'mah. Ni'mah, it also has an origin. Ni'mah, I think many of you know means blessing. Right? In Indo-Pak language, you say ni'mat. Right? But ni'mah comes from the Arabic word nu'umah. And nu'umah means softness and luxury. Ease and comfort. This is why cattle, cows, sheep, they're called an'am, because they move softly. They don't pounce and bounce like, dogs do, or lions do, or, other animals do. They move very smooth and soft. That's why they're called an'am. Anyway, coming back to the word ni'mah, ni'mah is something that brings comfort in your life, brings softness in your life. From it, when you get the word na'im, it actually means luxuries that you enjoyed constantly. This is sifa mushabbaha, they call it in Arabic, fa'im. So luxuries and comforts you enjoyed constantly. They were always there, you took them for granted. You will be asked about them. When Allah says this, subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's actually highlighting something. People that are very, very bad in this world, because this surah is predominantly talking about people who were just indulged in this life. The worst of the kuffar, really. Sometimes they have a lot of luxury and they get away with it. Muslims see that luxury that they have. They have money, they have cars, they have planes, they have wealth, they have assets, they have military, they have everything. And we feel frustrated. Why do they have all this stuff? And when you read a surah like this, you say, oh, that's why they have all this. Because they'll be asked about it. Because Allah wants them to be asked. He wants them to be interrogated about every last one of those luxuries. Now there's 2 items left that I want to talk to you about. One is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that I wanted to go through. And this is how, even though the message of the surah was to the disbeliever, of course it still applies to us, right? There are so many relevant lessons for ourselves. And so take note of this beautiful, beautiful narration of the Prophet ﷺ. The messenger came out of his house. I'm not sure if it was day or nighttime. In other words, I'm not sure if he had been out all day or he just came out at nighttime. That's what the narrator is saying. Abu Hurairah. فإذا هو بأبي بكر وعمر. And he passed by, all of a sudden he ran into Abu Bakr and Umar. فقال ما أخرجكما من بيوتكما هذه الساعة. He said to Abu Bakr and Umar, why are you out this late hour? Why are you guys outside the house? So he's out, but he's not sure why they're out. قال الجوع يا رسول الله. They said hunger. Messenger of Allah. We're starving. We just want to believe for food. قال وأنا والذي نفسي بيده لا أخرجني الذي أخرجكما قوما. He says, and I swear by the one who has my life in his hands, I swear by Allah, the same thing that brought you out, brought me out too, and got me to stand up. I couldn't sit anymore. So I just stood up and started walking. فقام معه. So they both got up along with him. فأتى رجلا من الأنصار فإذا هو ليس في بيته فلما رأته المرأة قالت مرحبا وأهلا. So they saw a man from the Ansar, and then his wife also welcomed them into their house. Okay? Now, فقال لها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أين فلان? So he asked her, the wife, where is he? قالت يستعذب لنا من الماء. He went to draw some water for us from the well. إذ جاء الأنصاري فنظر إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the Ansari comes back from the water, and he sees the Prophet is sitting there, and Abu Bakr and Umar are sitting there, and he said, وصاحبيه, he saw both of his companions. ثم قال الحمد لله. This is the first thing that comes out of his mouth. Alhamdulillah, ma ahadul yawm akramu adyafan minni. There's never been a day in my life that I've had more of an honor in terms of guests than this day. Wow, nobody is more honored today than I am. Rasulullah is sitting there, Abu Bakr is sitting there, Umar ibn Khattab is sitting there. So he's so happy. فانطلق. So he went ahead. فجاءهم بعدل فيه بصر وتمر ورطب فقال كلوا من هذه. So he gave him whatever little food he had. Some dates, some dried up food, whatever old. He didn't have a lot. He's starving himself. So he gave him whatever little he had. And the Prophet ﷺ eats it. وأخذ المدية فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إياك والقلوب. So you should at least drink the milk drawn from the animals. فذبح لهم. So they drank the milk and he slaughtered the animal. فأكلوا من الشاة. So they ate from the sheep. ومن ذلك العدل فشربوا. So they drank too. فلما شبعوا ورووا. And so now they've had good meat, they've had milk, they ate to their fill, and they've drank enough. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لأبي بكر وعمر. So Rasul turns to Abu Bakr and to Umar, and he says the following: وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ. I swear to the one who holds my life in his hands. لَتُسْأَلُنَّ عَنْ نَعِيمِ هَذَا الْيَوْمِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. You are going to be interrogated about the blessing of this day on the day of resurrection. Allah will ask you what you did. أَخْرَجَكُمْ مِنْ بُيُوتِكُمْ الْجُوعُ. Hunger brought you out of your home. ثُمَّ لَمْ تَرْجِعُوا حَتَّى أَصَابَكُمْ هَذَا النَّعِيمِ. And you didn't go back home until Allah gave you these blessings. Allah will ask you, and what does that mean, Allah will ask you about these blessings? Let's understand that. Does it mean Allah will question them? How many bites did you take? Allah is going to ask them how grateful they were, how appreciative they were. We have to be appreciative, especially about food. Especially about food. Leaving leftovers at restaurants, not finishing a drink. Give it to somebody on the street. Don't throw it away. Order less. You know, when you're hungry, guys, I'll have 3 burgers. You eat half a oh man. Yeah, I can't even look at it now. When the azima takes over you because of the hunger, you just order the restaurant. And then reality kicks in. Order less. Just tell yourself, okay, I'll have 1. If I feel like more, I'll take more later. Just, hold yourself back. Because this is something we will be asked about. This is the na'im that we enjoy all the time. لا تزول قدما ابن آدم يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن خمس خصال. The Prophet says the feet of the son of Adam will not be able to move until five categories are asked about. And he says, عن عمرك فيما أفنيت. What did you spend your youth in? What did you spend your life doing? وعن شبابك, your lifespan. وعن شبابك فيما أبليت. What did you exhaust your youth, especially from? وعن مالك من أين اكتسبت وفيما أنفقت. And about your money, 2 questions will be asked. Where did you earn it from? And where did you spend it? 2 things. Not just that I earned halal, then I do whatever crazy stuff I want. Earn halal and then spend in limits. وَمَا عَمِلْتَ فِيمَا عَلِمْتَ. And how much did you learn and what of it did you act on? Did you actually, you learned a lot, you listened to a lot of lectures. A lot. How much of it actually changed you at all? How much of it affected? These are the questions that you and I are going to have to answer. This was the second last thing, and now the final thing that I want to share with you, inshallah ta'ala, as I conclude. And that is the nilam of the surah, the beautiful architecture and structure of the surah. 8 ayat. 8 ayat that form actually a complete symmetrical whole. And so I want you to visualize this with me when you go home, open the surah and see this for yourselves. Yeah? The first 2 ayat are about how distracted we are. Al-hakum al-takathur, hatta zurtum al-maqabir. Okay? You've remained distracted until you ended up in the grave, visiting the grave. When the surah ends, Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions the exact opposite of distraction. You are not distracted when you're being questioned on every little thing that you overlooked, that you dismissed, that you didn't think about. ثُمَّ لَا تُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. And that, by the way, that day is the day where all lahu disappeared. All distraction disappeared. That's the day of yaqidah. So it began with distraction, it ended up with the end of the ultimate conclusion to distraction, waking up and being interrogated. Okay? Now, the second piece of the surah is 2 statements. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. How many times is knowing mentioned? Twice. 2 threats. And if you go from behind, Allah mentions you have to stare at Jahannam how many times? Twice. لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. Twice above, twice below. Perfectly balanced. And then right in the middle is actually the tragedy that human beings have suffered. كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ. Had you only had knowledge that is based on certainty, meaning knowledge that leads to certainty. What is the message of this surah? Learn this book. Learn this book so that it can get you to certainty and it can remove distractions from your life. So as the takeaway lesson that I want to share with you after discussing this architecture of the surah, when you study surahs in this way, when you get to the middle, right? The middle is actually the heart of the message, the real point that's being made. So Allah is telling us something very important for ourselves to keep ourselves in check. Human beings by nature, we get distracted. That's just what we are. Allah calls us insan. And insan, it's argued, comes from the root nisyan, which means forgetfulness. Human beings by nature are forgetful. So even though you're sitting in the masjid and I'm giving a dars right now, we're in the state of remembrance of Allah and may Allah accept it from all of us. That doesn't mean 2 hours from now I am in this state and you're in this state. It doesn't mean that. We get distracted, things happen, we get pulled in multiple directions, right? Your relationship, your regular relationship with Allah, something every day from Allah, will keep you on ilm al-yaqeen. It'll keep you focused. It'll take, yes, distractions will happen. If they're a necessary part of life. They're unavoidable. They will happen. But so long as the book of Allah is some healthy dosage of it, is a part of your life, then inshallah ta'ala distraction will be maintained, it will be kept under, within the healthy limits. It won't do what Allah Azza wa Jalla is warning us of here, that it won't do al-hakum al-takathur. You won't end up in that state, So to give you a reminder, you have a really bad argument with your wife, or a really bad argument with your parents, or something like that. Then you just get a little reminder from Allah. And you realize whatever problem I think is huge, compared to the problems that are coming in front of me when I stand in front of Allah, this is actually pretty small. I think we can get over this. Just put things in perspective. That's what Allah does. He puts things in perspective. Then sometimes you're overwhelmed by problems at work or financial or this or that, and you just open up Allah's book just a little bit, and Allah will remind you that He's Ar-Razzaq Dhul Quwwatil Mateen. He's the ultimate provider. And you'll just be at ease. Look, I'm going to do whatever I can, but Allah will take care of you. Some mother will be, how many mothers I've met in this trip is unbelievable who are frustrated with their sons. I don't know what your sons are doing, guys. I don't know what's up, but go give your mom a hug and apologize or something. That's your homework assignment. But like, how many moms, like, my son doesn't pray anymore, he doesn't listen anymore, he doesn't do this anymore. I ask, how old is he? And she says he's 25. And I say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Mother, the pen has been lifted from you. You're no longer responsible for your son. Quite honestly, he's not a child. I mean, he's going to be a child to you until he's 75, but he's not technically a child. He is an adult, and he's answerable to Allah for what he does. And your concern for him is because you can't help yourself, you're a loving mother, that will never go away. But know that Allah is not holding you accountable. And then that mother opens up Quran, and she reads about Yaqub alayhi salam and his sons, and all he could say is Allah al-Musta'an. He can't control what his sons do, you know. Sometimes you have some sons here have difficult parents. My parents just don't listen. They're just always yelling. I don't know what to do. I do everything I can, and they just can't get through to them. They want to get involved in this haram business, and they want my money to use to get into the haram business. And my dad said, if you don't do it, you're no longer my son, and all of it. That kind of drama happens all the time. And that son opens up Quran, and he reads Ibrahim alayhi salam being kicked out of the house by his father, and he says, okay, you know what? People have gone through tougher things. It's all right. I can find some comfort in this book. This book will give you comfort. It will give you strength. It will give you ilm al-yaqeen. It will give you that connection. How will it do that? You know, alhamdulillah, the Muslim Ummah is very good at listening to recitation of Quran. We put it in our cars, we download stuff on our phones, we listen to recitation. Keep that going. But recitation of Quran, for most of you, does not give you the message of the Quran. You hear the beautiful voice, you hear the wonderful tajweed of the Quran, and that has its barakah, no denying. But what will give you ilm al-yaqeen is not the qira'ah of the Quran, it is the risala of the Quran, the message of the Quran. Which means if your preferred language is Urdu or Bangla, or if it's Somali, or if it's Arabic, or it's English, whatever it is, listen to some explanation of Quran from somebody. Download that stuff, stick it in your ear. While you're commuting, while you're getting pushed around on the bus, just listen to some message of Quran. Every day. Something, just a little bit. This is not so you can take notes and you can give a halaqah later. This is not so you become a student. It's because you need to be exposed to the message of Allah's book. We need it like, you know, the earth needs rain, water, and without the water, the earth dies. Allah compares Quran to rain. And we are the earth. Our hearts are the earth. Without this constant water, the heart starts dying. Right? So be exposed to the message of Allah's words. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us of those that are constantly being exposed to His word. May Allah make us a people of ilm al-yaqeen, so that we don't have to come in front of Allah one day and then finally see ilm al-yaqeen. May Allah make us of those whose ilm al-yaqeen is enough for them, that we are ready for meeting Him in the most successful of ways. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us better and better understanding of the Quran, and make an endless place for it in all of our hearts, and make it a means by which the light by which we see all reality around us. May Allah Azza wa Jalla especially strengthen the mothers of our community and make them able to raise the generation of Muslims that will carry Islam further than it's ever been carried before. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.